Hey YouTube, it's Sean, Griffin RC Planes. So I have my extra 300 3D wing that we soaked in the bathtub, and it fixed it about 70% or so. This wing was damaged, and I bought it for a pretty good deal, less than half off, and it was new but box damaged. All right, time for a wing to go swimming. Got hit by a fork of a forklift or something. The wing is pretty much toast. So I asked you guys, hey, what can I do to fix this wing? Foam will maybe kind of pop back. And hey, lucky for you guys, my riders have not gone on strike. So we're good to go. A bathtub that I can't remember the last time it was ever used for anything bath related. She's a floating away. And I bought it being a new plane with box damage from a warehouse. And this wing here was in bad shape. It was dipped down quite a bit. The servo was kicked over. When I shine a flashlight through the back and really look in the structure, I can see that it's fractured all the way down here. The hot water and bathtub trick, I'd say, did a lot of goodness. It really helped it out. When we held it like this, right in this area, it was bad. It's still not perfect by any means. And when I flex it where it's broke, the aileron will move back and forth. So that's showing that it's still bent a little bit. Well, I have another brand new wing from extra, I think, number 3. Well, Sean, how come you're not using these wings? I have 2 of these that are brand spanking new that have never been used. Well, I guess this extra 300 3D was made on a Friday because there's no hinges. Let me show you what I mean. Same exact wing, same side and all. And the other way. Right here is a plastic pinned hinge. There's another plastic pinned hinge and another. No hinge. No hinge. No hinge and no hinge. And it's the exact same on the elevator halves. The elevator halves that came with the damaged wing, they've got hinges in them as well. So I don't know. It was made on a Friday, I guess. Plus, we get to make good content for you guys making or trying to repair these wings. So we took the decal off. Took the servo out, took the decal off the other side. I put the decals on a cardboard box. I'll never get them to go back on. The decals are part of the strength. So I'll figure out something about that later. I have an idea to put some stringers in this thing to strengthen it up. And then while the glue and these stringers are drying or hardening, I'll brace it up somehow with some weight that is holding it somewhat, straight. Let me show you my idea for these stringers. So here's a black piece of plastic. It's actually part of a mud flap for an 18-wheeler. And in the bathtub, I laid this on top of it, and then I had a pitcher of water sitting on it. And then the wing was floating. And being that the pitcher of water was in the center, it was pushing down where the bow was, so it straightened out the bow. Well, I have a couple of those black pieces of plastic, and I cut some strips out of it. And the strip laying flat is not very strong. Laying the other way, it's pretty dang strong. You know, this flimsy this way is tough. So I need to do this to equal sides so that the wing will be balanced on both sides, because we're now adding weight to the wings. I was going to do one, which there's already a spar or something in here, a stringer or something. Let me show you. These little holes right here, you can hear it's hard in there. And when you shine a light behind it, you can see a black stringer all the way. Let me see if I can get this light down here right now. Oh God! See the darkness? And you can see the black stringer in there. So that's what I'm gonna do, is add more to them. So I figured that there's already one down here, and it's either bent or broken when it gets to the damaged area. So I'll do one right here, and then right through here is where the wing tube goes. It doesn't go that far. And I've stuck the wing tube in, and nothing obstructs it. So the wing tube goes in as far as it needs to, and there's no damage. So I'll do another one like right there, and then another one right there. And then I'll just take a hobby knife, and I'll basically cut a channel out and try to be the exact same size as this piece here, and push it down in there. Flush, if not just a little below flush, with some 2-part epoxy. And then as it's hardening or drying, I'll make sure that I put one, I don't know, 2x4 or something under the center where the damage is, and then put some weight on both ends to where it's, and then we'll see what happens. At that point, when the glue's dry, I'll look at the wing compared to that other brand new one. If it's close, we'll roll with it. If it's still got a dip in it, then it'll just be wall art. You know, it'll be fun making videos and talking to you guys while we're doing it. So without further ado, I'm going to get a knife out, and we're at least going to do one together. So hang tight. All right, I got a razor blade that I can set the depth on. That way I won't cut very deep. Aha. I'd say right about there is good. And I can maybe make an indentation with it, so then I know where to cut. Yep. There you go. I'll tell you what, I'll use this as a straight line. A little hard to see it. Let's see if we can dig it out with something. There's all kinds of knickknacks right here. This little tool right here has been good for digging this stuff out. Get a little chewed up in that area. Can't remember this if this is the exact piece or not, but they're all the same length. There might be a little difference on the thickness. I tried to cut them all about the same, which they are. They're close. Definitely needs to go a little deeper. I don't want to use hot glue because hot glue it makes a mess and that stuff gets so stringy, and then if you get careless with it, it'll start melting things. And so I was wanting to mix up epoxy, and I don't have any 30-minute, only 5-minute. I think I'm gonna do one at a time. So let me get the epoxy. Hang on. Before we epoxy, I want to show you the wing we soaked in the tub, and then here's its twin minus hinges. Not much of a dip. This guy's got some dents in it also. Well, you get the picture. Here, let me show you one more thing. Just me being me, I get sidetracked pretty easy. All right, elevator half from extra 300 number 1, or maybe 1.5, where I bought parts off eBay. Hinge. Upper part of the hinge. Definitely can see the hinge. No hinge. I was putting the wing up, the brand new one that doesn't have hinges, and these are the elevator halves. Definitely made on a Friday. And one last ADD moment. The decals we took off, we'll never be able to get them back on and make them look right. So I'll either buy new decals, or this is a big sheet of vinyl that you can get in all kinds of colors. You know, it's like $1 or $2 a sheet. And you just peel off the back. It's made by Oracle. I get it at the hobby arts and crafts place, Michael's. And I've gotten clear before and made a clear hinge tape, and you can do all kinds of stuff with it. So maybe I'll just do something like this. Okay, epoxy time. That's what we need to do. All right, the epoxy's getting ready, but here's my idea to get it to straighten out while it's hardening. I'm gonna put this little strip of wood right underneath the brake. And then on this right hand side, I'm just gonna clamp it to my table. And on the other side, I'm gonna clamp it also, but I'll clamp it as far as I need to. Like right when I feel like it's straight, that's as much pressure as I'll put down on it. So that's going to be my my idea. I'm going to put that on this side. That like that. I'm not going to clamp the other side until we got the channel full of epoxy and the residual cleaned up. And I'll put this right here. That might be enough weight, or I might be able to do that. I'll just kind of see how much pressure it needs. I also thought about I can put this one underneath, or the other one. There's a lot of things I can do, and then I'll hold it down with this one as well. All right, we're set on go. I got the epoxy in hot water. It makes it a little, I guess you'd call it more runny. Or it's not as thick. Couple little brushes. paper towels, a little rubbing alcohol, plus I got some alcohol wipes. And we'll just mix up enough to lay down in the bottom. And if there's any voids we need to fill later, we can add that on top. This is 5 minutes, so we need to get on with getting on. Kind of made it almost a little too runny. I almost need a little bowl to mix it in. Like that, so I know which way it goes in. This would have been a good contender for my how I can funnel the 2-part epoxy into some syringes without the needle. Then I could have squirted in there. That would have been a good idea. It goes like that. When I push down pretty hard, I see it oozing up. So that's a good sign. Now, I'm gonna eyeball it. I think that is enough weight. And you can definitely tell that when I put that weight on the end of it, straightened it out, because our little spar poked up and the spar is straight. All right, so it's in there, guys. We'll do a couple more, and then we'll figure out decals. So thank you guys for all the ideas. Once it's dry, we'll compare this with that other new one, and we'll figure out another way to lay them flat to where we can really eyeball them and compare. Well, that's it for this one, guys. I just want to say thank you for the ideas. So far, so good. Everybody have a great week. Subscribe if you haven't. Give me a thumbs up. Thank you, guys. Until next time, you'll see me